Well, good evening, everyone. I'd like to officially call this meeting to order. I would ask that you please stand as we observe a moment of silent prayer and/or reflection as we think about the Chiapetta family from New Milford and the passing of Michael. Michael is a New Milford High School graduate. The Nessoff family, the passing of Sandy. Sandy is a longtime volunteer in town. She was a longtime chair of the Public Events Committee. She was the chairwoman of the 75th Anniversary Committee, and she's the wife of former councilman and Board of Ed member Bob Nessoff. And the Romeo family of New Milford with the recent passing of James. James was also a high school graduate. I graduated with him in 1993. Please salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the
The
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, the mayor and council of the borough of New Milford have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the borough hall, and notices have been sent to the record in the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services through the establishment and implementation of public policy that will safeguard the infrastructure, provide fair, honest, courteous, and professional services, establish a sense of trust and accomplishment between all residents, and through research and prudent planning, seek to minimize risk while improving our services. We are sensitive to the needs and satisfaction of our taxpayers, while realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. Being that this meeting is being held virtual, I need to read the following. All participants are muted during the meeting. Anyone wishing to make comments or ask questions can do so at such time as the meeting is open to the public for comment and during public hearings on any ordinance by hitting the button to raise your hand or by typing a message in the chat box. You'll need to state your name and address for the record. Members of the public may also submit written comments for any future remote meetings by either email to cdemiris@newmilfordborough.com or a written letter to the borough clerk. Written comments must be received by 4 p.m. on the day of the remote meeting in order to be read into the record during the meeting. Members of the public commenting during a remote meeting shall not act in any manner to disrupt the meeting. If anyone becomes disruptive during the meeting, they will be muted. If time permits, the disruptive individuals shall be allowed to speak after all other members of the public are provided an opportunity to comment. Any continued disruption may result in a member being prevented from speaking during the remainder of this meeting. Disruptive conduct includes, but is not limited to, shouting, interruption, and the use of profanity. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley. Yeah, can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Well, until we fix that, she's present.
Present, yes. Councilman Seymour.
Present.
Councilwoman Duffy.
Here.
Councilman Grotzky.
Here.
Councilwoman Sandhusen.
Present.
Council President Grant.
Here.
Mayor Petrino.
Here. Can you hear us, Thea? Okay.
Maybe she's logging out and back in.
Okay. Give her 30 seconds and then we will continue, just in case it's a quick fix. I was going to say we should have background music if this happens.
You, Zach.
Yeah.
Anybody want to sing?
Little,
No.
little
Nope.
I mean, yes, but you don't want
Rousing
me to.
chorus or something?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to sing.
nice Glenn Miller serenade in the background. Be perfect.
Does New Milford have a school song?
Yeah. There
Do
is a
you
school
know
song.
it? Do you know it?
It's been a really long time since I sang
I
it.
know, but I'm
There is one,
trying to. I don't remember it.
I remember my high school song, and it's longer.
I remember mine too, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of our school song.
I was going to say, it's not usual that we have problems in this format, because if you remember how many problems we had with the recorder in the courtroom and the microphones, we were constantly having to stop and fix things. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Well, one of the meetings that I participate with Bergen County, they've opted to Cisco WebEx. And it's just as, there's always a little bit here or there that glitches or,
nothing's perfect.
no,
I
it really
like-
isn't.
I actually like Zoom better.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I don't,
because I have that with one of my county boards too, and
I think the whole county's doing WebEx.
yeah.
Yeah. This seems a little bit more user friendly.
I agree.
Yeah, I think WebEx has more tech issues,
Yeah.
or seems to.
Also,
What's
I
the
can't-
platform of schools use? That's Google, right?
no,
Google
but
Meets.
I can't use a virtual background on WebEx, or at least I haven't figured out how to do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I
seem-
think it is Google, Matt.
Yeah.
Trying to think, somebody sent me something on Google and I don't know. I feel for Thea, I really do.
I do too.
Because,
Yeah.
if it's just that little bit out of your expertise, you feel like you can't get it.
Sometimes you need a person just to kind of point
I
out
know.
where to click or.
Yeah.
But my dad's the same way. He doesn't understand this. Until once he got it, he's great with it. But in the beginning, he was confused by it too.
But we're well past the beginning, Matt.
Yeah, true.
Just waiting to see from Chris if we should move on while she's troubleshooting or we're close.
Synchronizing all the updates between all the applications is a whole
Right.
nother piece of housekeeping.
Yeah, that is. Did everyone receive this?
Yes, and it looked
Excellent.
beautiful. Yeah.
Wasn't this
Excellent.
amazing?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I loved this. The French burying ground and the story, and it so well done. So well
Stuart
done.
did a tremendous job on that. Tremendous.
Really great. Really great. Even the photos, like, you know,
That's cool.
so good. Really, they do a wonderful job. So proud. See, what else is on my desk? I'll do show and tell right now if you like. Let's
A
see.
pen, my phone.
There's Governor Murphy with We Do.
Here's a picture of me in college. I found
Oh,
it
show
recently.
off. Let's see.
How are we looking, Chris?
Oh, somebody's dog.
Mine, I'll mute for a minute. Yeah.
Having a problem. I gave her the phone number to call in, but if she calls in, she's only going to be an attendee. She can't really, but she can hear
Right.
what's going on at least.
I'm sure it's all technical difficulties with the links and emails, sometimes technology. Okay. Can I get approval of the minutes from the January 11th, 2021 closed work public session meetings?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay. Under new business, item number 1 is the capital budget, and we're going to hear from the budget committee. So budget committee, take it away.
Ira, do you want to speak, Ira, on this? Or do you want me to?
Why don't you, and then I can add. How's that? Okay.
Okay, so the budget committee met and discussed, we started with the capital budget because we want to be able to put our bond ordinance together for the next month. And there were a number of items for the DPW. We put in, they were asking for $350,000 for road improvements, and we're recommending that be funded at $300,000, and a garbage truck at $265,000, which the committee is recommending that we approve. So their request in total at the DPW was $615,000. With the reduction on the road, it's down to $565,000. The police department had a request for body cameras, AEDs, and speed radar detectors, and their total request was for $49,835 for all of the items. We are making a recommendation to reduce the number of speed radar detectors down to 1. So the total that the committee is recommending is $46,861. But rather than be part of the bond ordinance, we're suggesting that it should be funded out of our capital improvement funds. So we would be funding it in full rather than borrowing the money for it. Under buildings and grounds, there were 4 items that were requested from the fire department: the roof replacement at Fire Company 1, the air conditioner for the gear room at Fire Company 1, and some additional funds for some fencing at Fire Company 2. Those 3 items we are recommending should be approved as part of our capital bond ordinance. They also asked for a water cooler for Fire Company 1, which is something that we've advised they need to purchase out of their operating budget. And the only other thing for buildings and grounds was for council chamber upgrades, which includes some changes to the seating, the flooring, the drapes, etc. And a lot of that work is going to be done in-house. So most of the expense that we're looking at is for material. So the total that we're recommending under buildings and grounds for the bond ordinance is $108,750. As they do every year, the New Milford Fire Department has put in their list of additional capital items that they're looking for that include personal protective equipment, hazmat equipment, pagers, boots, Scott Pack cylinders, and some additional miscellaneous tools. In addition to that, they've also asked for money for the Assistance to Firefighter Grant match, but that money, we wouldn't be putting that into a bond ordinance. So their total that they asked for was $86,010. Taking out the 23.5 for the AFG, it brings them down to about $62,000 that they're looking for. And the committee is recommending a $50,000 allocation for them to use as they see fit for the items that they've listed. So the total proposed for the bond ordinance is $723,750. In addition to the $723,750 for the actual items, we're anticipating that there is going to be $50,000 in soft costs, which would be engineering or attorney's fees, for a total of $773,750. Of that amount, we're required to put down a 5% down payment, which we would be taking from our capital improvement fund. So that would be $38,687.50. And the total debt that we're recommending be authorized for our multi-purpose bond ordinance this year is $735,062.50.
A couple of comments. Our goal was to keep our ordinance below $750,000. We've done that. The reason for the garbage truck is because the DPW fleet is aging. It's one of the higher expenses that they have. We'll be taking this bond ordinance and rolling it over into our long-term debt. So it's an opportune time to get this. As far as the police department, their body cameras are it's a mandate by the Attorney General of the state of New Jersey. Our police chief is being proactive on that, and they plan to spend $15,000 out of forfeited money, and hopefully get some reimbursement back from the state. Other than that, I think we pretty much well covered what we wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm glad we're addressing the roof at the fire department, much needed, and the gear room air conditioning, climate control.
Yes.
Two things that absolutely need to be done.
Very important, yes.
I have a question about the garbage truck. Is that a replacement of an old one or an addition?
It'll be a replacement of an old one.
Is there there are some opportunities to replace with electric vehicles with grant opportunities? Is that part of the
You
intention?
can't have
Are
a
we looking at
garbage
that?
truck. You can't have an electric garbage truck. It will not handle the tonnage or the amount of work it requires.
Okay, because I've heard, okay, because I was going to ask if you wanted to have Green Team or Environmental Commission look into it, because there are, with EVs, there's replacement opportunities, and with replacements. And I think Bergenfield got 4 new garbage trucks, EVs, so the technology for them has greatly improved over the last couple of years. So I've been researching that a little bit. I can bring some information if you're interested in a future time.
Lisa, I would be interested to see what is out there, and if it would, pass the muster of our DPW. I think it would be a valuable thing to look into. We've always been told that electric vehicles cannot handle, like Iris said, can't handle the intense usage as well as the weight. But if you're saying that there are some upgrades and updates and improvements along these lines, we should at least look at it and hear about it. So I think that would be great.
Okay.
I don't know, Mayor, is that,
I mean, we don't have to, I mean, we could just do some research.
Yeah.
So,
right?
It's always good to get information. Eventually,
Right.
there'll be more of the fleet that will need to be replaced in the future. And if we have the information, I know our garbage trucks do get extreme use because we also use them for recycling. In addition, when we had storms, we're using it
Right.
to clean up branches. So it's intense use on our vehicles.
It'll also be used to plow the streets.
It's very versatile.
As long as a vehicle is designed to do that, I think it's great. But if a vehicle is not designed to plow streets and pick up garbage, then I hope we're using it in the proper way. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm very happy that we're able to give the DPW, some new equipment that they're desperately in need of, so.
And considering some of the vehicles that we're trying to replace from the DPW date back to the 1980s, I think we're doing a good job of using them in the way they're need to be used.
The truck we're replacing is 1983.
Well, listen, if I had my own mechanic, I'd be driving one of those too.
well, they just have some really good programs out available right now because it's part of the initiative to go electronic vehicle in the state and across the nation. So there's a lot of opportunities and funding and support for municipalities to replace their fleets with EVs.
I'd like to see it though, but these garbage trucks are massive.
Mhm.
They are massive. I couldn't even step into one of them. That's how high they are.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll
Yeah,
get
I hear-
information going forward in the future. Absolutely.
Yep, and I hear the concerns and the specs and the scope, so I'll take that back to the green team and so that they have all that information. Thanks.
Just looking at it, there is a Wall Street Journal article about the fact that, and it's probably more pressing than 2023, but they're anticipating New York is going to have a portion of their fleet by 2023 as battery electrics. They're being produced by Mack, and apparently they have the bandwidth and the ability to do this. There's also indications you can get part of the problem is the ramp up in terms of having charging stations, et cetera, and there are incentives from Mac as to that. So it's something that you could probably investigate. It's not like we're not going to need new trucks, but it is as recent as October 7th, the Wall Street Journal was looking at this, and they're rolling them out with the hopes that in 2035 that these will be the majority. The other benefit, according to the article, is the noise. You eliminate the garbage truck diesel coming down the street. So it does mention the concerns that Ira talked about, but it looks like, with more investigation, the borough should be in a position to do it and possibly get some of it paid for.
And I think it would be something definitely worthwhile for going forward, but I'm not sure because if we're budgeting 265 in the budget for this year, and I don't know if an electric vehicle would be more expensive. For this particular situation, we're probably, but it would be great to have the information for going forward so that we can plan for the future.
Right.
It also appears as a waiting list for vehicles. So this year, I think is.
I was going to ask if you know the price differential.
They don't say that in the article.
Is there anything else from the budget committee on the capital budget?
I just wanted to say that I'm just very happy that we're able to help out the DPW because they do a great job and they do a lot for our town. So just happy we're able to give them some equipment that's very much needed.
Very much needed.
Yeah. Okay.
Was actually giving to the residents.
That's right.
Yes,
We will
that's
be-
right.
Yes,
Yep.
They're the main benefits, getting garbage picked up.
absolutely. And twice a week in the summer. Yes.
Okay, new business item number 2 is Deputy Emergency Management Coordinator. I received a letter from our OEM director asking to appoint Larry Mintz as a deputy coordinator. Appointing Larry would continue the chain of command in the event that any of the deputies are not around or in town during the course of a storm or any other emergency event. According to the state guidelines with OEM, it's a mayoral appointment, so I am going to appoint Larry Mintz as the deputy coordinator. Congratulations, Larry, and thank you for everything you've been doing. Item number 3 is the MOU for Blue Acres acquisitions, and I'm going to turn it over to our borough attorney.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the governing body. This is real quick. The original MOU provided by the state to the borough in exchange for the Green Acres program can be amended unilaterally by Blue Acres. The borough agreed to that. Basically, it's a condition of getting the grant. They want the ability to control their grant money, which is understandable. They asked to have the MOU updated. I want to say it was probably January of last year. And unfortunately, the pandemic hit. In the interim, we had been working on an access agreement with regard to plantings over there. Vince wanted to use a portion of the property. The biggest challenge has been the insurance requirements of the state. There were some things that they negotiated with our risk manager and some they did not in connection with the access agreement. But basically, they got to the point it was a take it or leave it, and the borough determined, the program is more valuable than the risk. They have the same exact insurance requirements on this. I don't know that we're going to get anywhere with it because we, quite frankly, haven't had a response to some of my questions back from May. The state's working remotely. I went over it with Art, and we think you're probably it's as good as it's going to get. If you want to continue the program, you're going to have to comply with what the state wants. Even if we were able to negotiate it, they could change it the next year because they have the right under the original agreement and under the program to change their terms. There are questions such as indemnification of the state. It's state property, but it's under our management, and we have to then identify them. We've already agreed to do that with regard to the planting MOU, so I really don't see us being any worse off of a position. It's state property. They're going to get brought in anyway, but it's just a question if there's a loss, what happens? I think it was the wisdom of the governing body to go forward because of the value of the planting. And we're just recommending that you go forward with this because, quite frankly, if we don't sign it, they're going to stop the program for the borough, which is no one's interest when it's, we're in the midst of it on a grand scale. A question had come up with regard to what kind of activities are permissible. And the mayor asked me to look into it, and I could just let you know. I do have an email I pulled up because I had researched this and I was driving myself crazy trying to find it. There was a concern during the pandemic of people using the Blue Acres and, quite frankly, state parks. They are open for passive recreation. And the question is, what is passive recreation? And passive recreation is defined in the website of the DEP as follows. Anything that doesn't require a playground, athletic field, outdoor basketball court, tennis courts, swimming pools, skate parks, etc., and includes activities such as walking, hiking, horseback riding, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, bird watching, nature observation, boating, picnicking, fishing, and hunting. So really, it's not great in terms of their definition, but they just want it as areas where you can enjoy the outdoors in a non-organized fashion. And I looked at a couple of different planner websites, and they kind of define it the same way. A question did come up, and we haven't had a response as to what we can do in terms of dog walking over there. Can we post that? Can we post hours? And can we put signage, posting, what people can and can't do over there on the Blue Acres properties? The Kimberly Rennick was our contact, and she said she didn't see an issue with it. And we are permitted under the access agreement and MOU to put signage. They were going to have the DAG get back to me. That was of May of 2020. I haven't heard from anybody. But I don't know that we really need to. We know we can do it, and it makes sense. I think Vince actually did it. I thought he had signs ready to go, posting it.
I believe so too. Yes.
And it's, park hours. We don't want someone there after dark, obviously, for safety reasons. There are no improved trails, etc. So that's basically it. I'm just recommending that the governing body enter into the MOU. It's consistent with what we've been doing for the last several years.
Mr. Kelly, are there any more houses being considered for this program?
That I don't know. I think there are more houses on the list, but some of them are either under negotiation with the owners or waiting funding. I think there was one that I'm aware of where there was a deadlock, a breakdown with the owner in terms of the value. I think there's 13 total at this point, Chris.
The list was in the 30s, but as you said, not all of them were able to.
No, just I'm referring to the properties. I think there was 13.
There's 12 on this one.
Just
right
12 at this point, and I think the one where there was a breakdown was number 13. And then we have a lot more in the pipeline, but it depends on funding.
I have a question to clarify the plantings that you referred to. Is that the Roots to Rivers program?
Yes.
I don't recall the name. Was that what Vince was talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that program has been waiting for this to be signed to go forward, or
No.
That was taken care of.
Okay.
This is a separate agreement for something else, but it had the same language as the agreement for the Roots to Rivers, which we've already taken care of.
All right, thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, we jumped on that because there's grant money in the process of it. So that was taken care of, but this was just came contemporaneous with it, but this is really referring to the original MOU to enter the program.
Any other questions about the MOU for Kevin?
It's a modification. It's really not the MOU.
Right.
I misspoke, but.
And the list of 12, this agreement would be for any of the other that are already in the pipeline, so that they've already amended that attachment because they went through with like the first 6 and then they went through with the second 6. So every time that they continue with the original properties that were part of the original agreement, the attachment to this agreement will change.
Right.
Or if something else comes up during the course of their administration of the program, they have the right to change it.
Okay. Item number 4 is schedule updates. As I mentioned at our last meeting, right now, the only thing on the schedule is some sort of event for the Easter Bunny, Hippity Hoppity Trail, or something similar to we did last year. The potential dates are Saturday, March 27th, which is the Saturday before Palm Sunday, and then a rain date would be April 3rd, which is the Saturday before Easter Sunday. We are still in talks about what type of an event we're going to have, but we're going to have something fun. I'll tell you that. Item number 5 is the COVID-19 task force report, and I'll send it to the administrator.
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Okay. The task force met on Thursday, January 21st, with reports from the police department, fire department, OEM, the ambulance corps, the health department, the administration, the DPW, and the Board of Ed. Some of the topics that we discussed included the recreation, sports, winter and spring potential programs, and the progress that was being made on the opening of a vaccination site in New Milford. The next meeting scheduled for Thursday, February 4th.
Any questions? Okay. We will continue into the administrator's report. Chris.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a very short report tonight. The Budget Committee met again on January 15th to begin working on the 2021 operating budget. We are currently waiting for the auditor and the CFO to complete some of the year-end reports before we can finalize a first draft that we will turn over to the auditor for him to drop into the budget document so we can see where we're at with our starting point. And the only other thing I wanted to mention, our next meeting is Monday, February 8th.
PM?
What's that?
PM?
7? Yes, PM. 7 PM.
Okay, resolutions. Are there any resolutions that need to be pulled out for further discussion? Okay. If not, we're going to move on to comments from the public. So I would ask for a motion to open up to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We are now open to the public. Any member of the public who wishes to speak about any business related to New Milford, you have 5 minutes to speak.
All we need is for you to raise your hand.
It looks like there's a question there.
Yes, there was a question and I answered it. And then they just said, thank you to the answer. Okay, we have somebody who'd like to speak.
Okay, just please give us your name and your address.
Mr. Fiorenzo? Uh-oh, doesn't have audio. We don't have you with audio. If you'd like to type your question, we can answer it that way. I know that you were asking about the fire department roof. Aha, maybe you have audio now. I see that you have. Yep, there we go.
Hello.
Did we lose him?
Mr. Fiorenzo, can you hear me? He's frozen. Actually, oh no, he's okay, he's here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, it's going in and out. My question, do you get my name?
State your name and your address, please.
Okay, Frank Fiorenzo, 71 Prospect Avenue, New Milford, New Jersey.
What can we do for you tonight, sir?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I was asking that question as far as the roof goes for company #1 Firehouse. Didn't we recently replace that roof with the recent construction on that building?
No.
Can you hear me?
Yes. There was new roof put on for the addition, but there were sections of the old roof that were not replaced. So we're replacing old roof that has been damaged and is now starting to leak.
Okay,
Right.
Okay, I got 5 minutes still, or a couple minutes?
You have
And
another
my question also was, what is our current fleet of the sanitation trucks?
That I don't know off the top of my head. That would be something we'd have to look into. When you say sanitation trucks, are you just talking about garbage trucks? Or do you mean all of
I'm
the?
talking about garbage trucks, and as far as I know, our town doesn't pick up any garbage. Is that correct? We only use that for one round of pickups, or recyclables, paper, and recyclables, cans and bottles, correct?
We do use them for recycling. Yes, it's actually more than 1 day a week because we do residential 1 day a week and we do the apartments on another day. But the trucks are used for other things besides garbage pickup as well.
Where does the town pick up garbage?
No, it's used for things that are other than garbage pickup.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm going to see if I can get an answer real quick.
My other question was, is there any update on schools opening?
Yes, I haven't given my update yet, but the staff and faculty returned today, and students are returning on Monday, February 1st.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
But
Very well.
it's going to be hybrid, isn't it?
Yes, it will be. Yeah, the reopening is going to be initially a hybrid model, and the Board of Education and the superintendent are working very hard to safely reopen further as soon and as quickly as possible.
We have 5 trucks.
We have five trucks.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
1988, 1992, 2016, 2017. That's only 4, so I'm not sure what the 5th one is, but I think we have 2 from, no, we have 2 from 2017. That's what it is. So we have a 1988, a 1992, a 2016, and 2 from 2017. And they're used for leaf and branch pickup as well.
I thought one was in 1983.
No, I guess that was in 88. Ira was gilding.
Thank you, Mr. Veronaldo.
Thank you very much for the rapid answers. Thank you.
Thank you for attending the meeting.
Okay, anyone else? Next.
Trying to move him out as a panelist, and I can't do that. I don't see anybody else from the public that's asking to speak at this time, Mayor.
Okay. With that, I would ask for a motion to close to the public.
So moved.
Motion.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This time, why don't we go around the screen with some updates, and we're going to start with Councilwoman Duffy, who's first on my squares.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting in, fire department is kind of moving along. They presented their budget requests and will then continue on with the grant application, as well as with the $50,000 in capital, go ahead and prioritize their needs as far as that budget goes. Health department, of course, the Board of Health has been very busy. First of all, with the possibility of having a vaccine clinic in New Milford, our board president and our public health nurse, along with the help of our public health official, have been in contact with all the important state agencies and getting requirements filled for the town before we know anything. But the public can be assured that they will be informed. They will have plenty of time to be able to participate, and it will definitely not be as frustrating as it has been up until now, trying to locate vaccines. Also, regarding the Board of Health, our inspectors have been out with general property maintenance issues, but also some compliance issues regarding the pandemic and safety of shoppers and diners, etc. We did have our board president, Denise Brunner, attend a meeting with the manager at ShopRite, along with our public health officer on Saturday, and just to discuss again the requirements, the capacities, and the washdown protocols. So just the public should know that our inspectors are out there doing the job. So that's my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Siraki Hurley.
Thank you, Mayor. A little update on our Historic Commission. We're working on collecting or getting some folks that have been in town for a very long time to make an oral history. So we are looking for people that have lived here since they were younger, maybe some grandfathers or great uncles, aunts. So we've been working on that. With the vents, well, vents is a little difficult since we really don't know where we're going to be months from now, but we are discussing our Memorial Day ceremony. If I don't know, maybe it's being very hopeful, optimistic that May would be able to have a parade, doubtful, but we are still talking about having the memorial ceremony as we did last year with our posters of our soldiers, veterans that have come from town and have passed. And perhaps maybe having a parade maybe for October, maybe thanking first responders. So we are working, trying to put things together just in case we can go ahead with it. It'll probably take some time and we'll just have to see where we are with that. And of course, again, with the Christmas event. So that's what we've been discussing, foreseeing the future. And that's about all I have to report right now, Mayor. Thank you.
I think two things you touched upon were the posters of our soldiers. Those were such a big hit and they were so wonderful. It's something we are going to do every year. So, I mean, you and Nancy put that together. It was fantastic. And then you mentioned the Winter Wonderland. That was so good that everybody wants to do that again. So I'm glad to see that things that we've come up with, we can implement in either in full or in pieces going forward once we normalize. But I have to thank you, Public Events and Historic, for everything you did last year and all the great ideas you came up with.
The Winter Wonderland, we were just going to mesh into, as everyone might remember, we used to have the Christmas lighting ceremony. Well, we'd like to expand that into our Winter Wonderland and work that in. Hopefully next year we'll be able to have our Girl Scouts out there singing and enjoying and more festivities. But yeah,
absolutely.
And always looking for volunteers and anybody who wants to donate any Christmas items. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Seymour.
As I mentioned earlier, the Board of Education met last Monday, and the Superintendent Polizzi clarified and also reiterated that although the board graciously offered their facilities to help facilitate vaccines in New Milford, that their offer was ultimately not selected, that instead, as previously indicated, that the vaccine location will be at a borough site and not a Board of Education, not a school facility. But he wanted to reiterate his commitment, his office's commitment, and the Board of Education's commitment to be our partner and help us in our community as much as possible in any way that they can help. They want to help. Also, they indicated, as I mentioned before, that faculty and staff have returned to the schools as of today, and the schools will be reopening, albeit as the hybrid model as of next Monday, February 1st. And they're working very hard to open up as soon as they can, as safely as possible, with safety of the children in our entire community being the priority and the focus. And I give them a lot of credit on the Board of Education for patiently listening and answering as many questions as possible, and as working as hard as they are. And I thank them for that. In addition, the Municipal Alliance also met this week, and Alyssa Lunam and Mel Urena are both back as chair and co-chair, and I'm sure going to do an excellent job this year, just as they did last year. And they're working very hard already planning this year's Black Balloon Day. And even though it seems far away, they've already started to discuss and plan the logistics of this year's fishing derby. And as we discussed earlier, I think as Chris mentioned, and as Ira mentioned, and everyone I was talking about, we've been working very hard on the budget committee to provide the best services that we can to our community and to the town in the most fiscally responsible manner. And that's my report.
Thank you. And I think everyone's looking forward to getting schools reopened in a safe manner, and we hope nothing but the best and it goes well.
Absolutely. And again, they're working very hard over there, and I really appreciate the time and the effort that they put in for our town.
Right. It's not easy.
Nope.
Council President Grant.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to talk about the library for a moment. It's had a difficult time during the pandemic. It was closed for a while and then reopened with very innovative ways of dealing with getting books and magazines and so on to the public. And I have a few statistics for last year that you might be interested in. In 2020, there were 5,067 reference questions asked and answered. That's quite a lot. I don't know how it compares to 2019, but that's significant. The use of electronic media, for example, e-audio, e-book, and e-magazines increased 159% in 2020 from 2019. That's a huge increase. And of course, it marks the unfortunate circumstance where we have more difficulty getting actual books. I've certainly become a convert to e-books and audiobooks as well. So I'm in that 159% increase. And there were 4,338 curbside pickups between June 22nd and December 31st, 2020. Wow. And as well, there have also been pop-up libraries, which are in high demand. And I want to congratulate the library on doing such a good job, and for the residents in town for doing the best they can, adapting to new ways of doing things, and to still enjoying what the library has to offer. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we thank Terry and her staff also for all the online programming that they've been doing. It's been amazing.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Phenomenal. Yes, phenomenal. True.
Okay. Councilwoman Sandhusen.
Thank you. I want to commend Council President Grant on the library. As a former library page, librarians serve a really deep need with the public. It's not just books and the reference questions. They're also helping people file their unemployment or employment and taxes. They are really help the residents of the municipality in such a great number of ways.
Can I add, in non-pandemic times?
Yeah.
Because usually in the spring, right now, they would be gearing up for ARP to come in and to help seniors with their tax returns. And clearly that can't be done this year.
Right, but they answer a lot of questions that
They
are
do.
not only related to library books, and not a lot of
Very
people
true.
understand that.
Very true.
And
Thank
I
you.
wanted to also, Councilwoman Duffy, can you hold up do you have the brochure still? I don't think Councilwoman Shiraki Hurley heard us.
Oh, of course.
Tour
We've
for
working
the
on
French
that, yeah.
Cemetery is amazing, and the Historic Society really needs to be commended.
It is fabulous.
Yes.
It's a great, I didn't want it to end. I felt like there should be more of a story to continue with it.
And it's
It's also all posted on the website.
Thank you.
Yes.
great. And I don't have anything to report. There's, to be continued with the green team. They're ramping up, so I'll have more later. So, but nothing to report at this time. So I'm complete. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Grotzky.
Alrighty, thank you, Mayor. Tomorrow, the police department will be holding a swearing-in ceremony. We're promoting 2 officers. We're promoting Sergeant Herrero to the rank of lieutenant. We'll be promoting Detective Brian Carlino to the rank of sergeant. We'll also be swearing in 2 new police officers who will be replacing our 2 retired officers. It's a private ceremony, and we're going to have a very few amount of people attending the ceremony. Thank you.
Is that in the council chambers?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be at the council chambers at 6 p.m. tomorrow. It'll just be them and their immediate family members and the police chief.
I'm just curious. Do we know the names of the new officers joining us?
Yes.
The names are Daniel Rugani and Kyle Hill.
Congratulations to those guys and their families.
And congratulations to Officer Herrero and Officer Carlino for the promotions.
Congratulations.
Very exciting. But it's contingent on you approving the resolution, so.
It's not done yet.
Yeah.
Is there anything else for around the table that needs to be brought up? Okay. If not, I would ask for approval on resolutions 2021:56 through 2021:70.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Congratulations, officers.
Yes.
Is there any other business before this council? Okay. If not, I would just like to say, continue to be safe, everyone. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you to our volunteers, all of our department heads for continuing to do an amazing job. The pandemic is not over. We just need to still be smart, responsible, and safe. The vaccinations are helping. We are trying to get a vaccination site as soon as possible. We know that there is extreme delay with the state. We were trying to help that out and make it convenient for New Milford residents. And once we get past all this, we'll be able to continue to operate, back to normal the best we can. So thank you, everyone. Could I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion to adjourn.
May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you and good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
everyone.
Right.
Be safe.
You too.